There are many ways to go about setting up your server-side tracking. Some of us prefer to use something like Cloud Run, which is within the Google Cloud Platform, a solution that is provided by Google to run a server-side tracking without like relying on outside vendors and platforms. But more recently, there are a lot of solutions that make it much more streamlined to manage your server-side tracking, especially if you are an agency and you are doing this multiple times per month for clients, or you are a freelancer. These platforms have a lot of usefulness for such cases. And the other reason is that if you are, for example, new to this domain, which most of us are, server-side tracking was not really popular just a few years ago. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So as you can see here, I prepared a little graph to kind of drive the point home of when to select something like Cloud Run instead of State or Addingwell. It really comes down to expertise. The more technical you are or your team is, if you have resources, internal resources, or you are working with an agency that is very comfortable with Amazon Web Services or Cloud Run, you can basically go with these platforms. On the other hand, as I personally work with a lot of agencies, they do not have the time. And the more complex your setup is, the more time it will take to maintain it. That's how things are, basically. So that's when it makes sense or more sense to go with something like Addingwell or State. You won't need someone full time like monitoring the Google Cloud Platform for errors. You can rely on the support of each of these platforms to get help when you need it and get on with your day. So this is very useful, for example, if you are an agency, marketing agency, and you are monitoring the setup for a client. So this is just to say that it really depends. It's not either black or white. If you are an agency or you do not have the expertise, it makes a lot of sense to go with this approach. So as you can see, I am in my Google Tag Manager account, and the first step in my server-side tracking is to set up a tagging server or a tagging container. So let's go ahead and name it. And if you watched my previous tutorials on how to set up server-side tracking, usually we click on automatically provision a tagging server, but this time we are going to do it manually. And I will show you what you are going to do with the container configuration string right here. So we can copy it and close our window here. So the next step is to head to Addingwell and click on Start a free trial. And I will go ahead and add my information here and go through the login process. So what you need to know about Addingwell is that you have a sandbox version. So it's free until you add your billing information and your server is production ready. Let's fill this information and move on to the next steps. As you can see, I created my Addingwell workspace, and the next step is to paste the configuration string we had in Google Tag Manager, if you remember. I'll just take it and add it here. You click on next. Here you really can add your domain, and for the subdomain, you can name it whatever you want. So my domain is this one, so I will use stracking. So I will add my DNS records. It really depends the step on your hosting provider. I recommend telling your developer, send them an email, click in here, with the information of your record, so that they can do this for you. But I will show you in a second how I do this using my own website. So I am in my cPanel and I've just added some new records that are in my container here. So I just took the information and added to my records. I will save. So I will see you once everything has been validated from my custom domain. So as you can see, my domain has been validated. What I need to do now is I will check this domain and I will go back to my tag manager in the admin section. I will go to container settings and here I will add a container URL. I will save. So as you can see, the container is firing correctly and I will head to my tag manager, the server container, and see what is going on. So as you can see here, my server container is working as well using the custom domain that we deployed a few moments ago. So that's how you basically set up Addingwell. The process is very straightforward and it's not technical at all. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next one, we will talk more about how to set up server-side tracking using other methods. So I will see you next time.